Hey everyone, so in this short tutorial we're going to talk about Wise's looping features, including the pre-entry region and the post-exit region. So what I did was create a very simple sequence that takes advantage of some of its features and also explores some of the challenges with creating loops. So at the beginning of my loop here I have a drum fill and I just sort of a rhythm here, like a rhythmic ostinato, and then I have a string come in, and you can hear the rhythmic ostinato has some echoes on it, and the string pads that we have in there have a really long release time. And so if I were going to wrap these around, meaning take the reverb tail and paste it onto the front, I'd also conflict with the sort of fill into the loop itself. So Wwise has some features to allow you to create a loop like this and then seamlessly loop it within Wwise itself by defining your loop point. So what I'm going to do is going to take bars 1 through out to the beginning of 13, so basically these 12 bars. Then I'll go ahead and export this loop as an audio file, and I'll make sure it's a WAV file, and I'll just put it on my desktop and I'll call it audio loop, and I'll save it at 4824. I'll go ahead and quit out of Reason and then try and import this into Wwise and show you how these special regions inside a loop work. So I'll go ahead and create a new project called Wwise Loops. Then lastly, I'll go ahead and create a new segment, and let's go new music segment. Inside the music segment I'll create a track, so new track. So now I have both those. Now we're not seeing anything yet because I forgot to switch my layout to interactive music. Now I see my music track. Alright, so let's import this new file that I have. So I go to my desktop, and here's my desktop here. I bring in my audio loop. Okay, and I kind of have it starting there. Cool. And so right now, if I put in the tempo and then choose to look at this in bars and beats instead of seconds, that right now everything should line up nicely. The beginning of my loop actually is right here, oops, at bar 2. So if I take the left-hand marker, which is my first loop point, and drag it to bar 2, that will now be my bar 1 starting point. And at the end here, bar 9, that's where it actually stops. So we have like 8 bars, and then at the end here we have that long, nice reverb tail. Alright, so now if I play this, I'm going to go ahead and save my file, and I play this. Fill into my loop with all those delays on them, and then at the end over here we'll hear the reverb tail. Right? So in a game I want all that to seamlessly work together. So what I can do is I'm going to put that music segment into a new parent playlist container, like so. And remember, there are 2 steps in making a playlist. One is I make the parent so it actually puts in the hierarchy my music segment in the playlist. Then I have to drag my music segment out. And what I'm going to do is actually just drag 2 of these back to back. And what this is going to show is how those loop regions end up being the beginning and start of my loop. So check this out. When I play this, by the way, I'm still listening to new music segment. I got to switch to new music playlist container, like so. Then when I play it, check this out. Drum fill into my loop, and then at the end of my loop, both these are going to play at the same time. The first loop will continue out, and the new one will play the drum fill. Drum fill, and the strings and the echo from the percussive track loop back around. So I could go over here and say, instead of just having two in here, I could delete this one and then go ahead and loop this infinitely. So then I would get a nice infinite loop. So again, drum fill into my section. That's called the pre-entry region, the first bar before it begins. And listen what happens when we come back around. Drum fill, and then it plays back out again. So we hear the nice long reverb tail of the echoes, and we also hear the string releasing into that new section. Hope you enjoyed it. Good luck.